What's up, everybody? So, by myself for this week. This is probably going to be the last week of the podcast until the season is over, just because, the holidays are starting, everybody's busy. Don't imagine anybody's going to listen anyway, and there's so few matchups that everybody's going to kind of be, paying attention anyway. So it's not like, there's a whole lot. We're all going to be talking about it in the Facebook chat and stuff anyway. So we'll see. If I have time, I might do it. I know Ben and I are going to do an episode to follow up the season and kind of do a little bit of a recap. So with that being said, though, I am going to put a link in the chat as well as at the bottom of the video and on Spotify, linking you guys to a survey. So we are doing the awards for the season. Came up with a couple of different ideas on most of the questions. Every single person is an option to choose from. I do ask that when voting to try not to vote for yourself, just because I feel like it's a little bit more fun if everybody votes for somebody that's not them. Unless it's just a cut and dry thing, like the first question we'll just go ahead and get into on their regular season MVP. So obviously we put everybody as an option, but there's really, and at least in my mind, there's only like 2 or 3 of you that really should have been options. It was just easier to add everybody. So, like Ben, for example, I would ask that if you on all the questions you don't choose yourself, but if you're Ben or you're Matt, you can choose yourself for that question. You know what I mean? Just kind of use your brain. That's all. I know that's hard for some of you, but please try. The only question on there that I ask you under no circumstances choose your own team is one of the questions is the best team name. So please do not choose your own, because I understand that we all think our team name is the best team name in the league. So please choose someone else other than yourself. But some of the other awards that are being handed out this year are, I just talked about the regular season MVP and the best team name. Dealer of the year, the one that's best at trades. Which, by the way, all of these have like a little description on there so that, you can kind of get a sense of what we're talking about. Please do read them carefully. Some of them can be, the title versus the explanation can be a little tricky. Comeback player of the year, underachieving person of the year award, waiver wire, the best team name I talked about, Crybaby of the Year award, the worst draft pick, and the best draft pick. For those, we did choose 5 options from the draft. I literally physically got out the draft board and we looked at everything. So we chose 5 options on there, and we put on there who drafted them just in case they're no longer on that person's team or whatever else. We did that for best and worst. I'm also, this is not on the survey, I'm going to add it in there. We're going to do the worst scoring week, the best scoring week, and we are also going to do the points champion award. So those aren't like a voting award, that's just a cut and dry statistical award. So that'll be fun. So those will be handed out at the end of the season. Obviously, we're going to have, we'll have announced the winner by there, and we will know who the sticker bitch for next year is. So all fun, all fun. Kind of give something to go into the off season for. But let's go ahead and look at last week's matchups. So it was rivalry week. Tiffany and John are the only ones that decided to do the usual bet, and as everybody knows, as you can see, Tiffany lost, so I get punished somehow, but that's okay. Let's just start with Hardtop and myself. So Ryan won, obviously. It's pretty close, but not quite what I wanted it. I made a bad decision in not starting Zay Flowers, but I probably wouldn't change anything. Nico got hurt, CJ Stroud got hurt. We both got kind of fucked over by that. So, no crying. Lost fair and square. Good job, Ryan. Oh shit. Why? Make sure. Yep. Okay. Becker and Lance. So Lance took this one. I was kind of surprised. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Josh Jacobs all had bad games. Zach Moss doesn't look like the Zach Moss that started the year when Jonathan Taylor was out. So Becker had a bad week for sure. Lance, on the other hand, had a very consistently good week. Everybody on his team scored pretty damn good. Nobody to really talk about. Amari Cooper comes back a little bit. Rachaad White doing Rachaad White things. Javonte Williams gets his first touchdown of the year, which I thought was crazy that, he hasn't had a touchdown up until now. I did not know that stat line. Pretty crazy. Congratulations, Lance. And with that win, Lance gets into the playoffs. Kim and Matt. So Matt won. Still closer maybe than I thought it was going to be. But 8 points from Jalen Hurts. Hurts, pun intended. Mike Evans had a unusually bad game. So Roschon Johnson. I personally can't believe he didn't start Devin Singletary in there over Roschon, but you come out with the win, so it doesn't matter. Tua, bad game. Amon-Ra, bad game. Goddard, bad game. Swift, bad game. It's just, this was a week for everybody, I think, where you either had a good week or you had a bad week because your players, there was no in between here. There was injuries galore and, people booming or busting all over the place on everybody's team. So, Power Bottom defeated Tiffany. So, meh games from, Clyde and Najee and Madison and Downs. But big boom from Debo, huge game from Evan Ingram, and Cooper Kupp did really well too. Justin Herbert played terribly, got hurt, so that's rough luck. Stephon Diggs has not looked like himself. I guarantee he is not going to be a Buffalo Bill next year. He's going to whine his way out of town, and good fucking riddance. Dalton Kincaid, bad game as well. The game that between them and the Chiefs that should have been a shootout kind of turned into one of those, I'm not going to say boring game, but low scoring, not a lot of offensive production games. Other than that, though, you were hurt a little bit by the Tyreek going in and out of the game. Started off real well with Zeke, but didn't quite finish. So, and then last but not least, Ben defeats Tim. So Josh Dobbs, I think we can all agree that I was correct on Josh Dobbs. They won 3-0 against the Raiders, and then this is being recorded on Friday, which is the day you may or may not listen to it. The Raiders just destroyed the Chargers, so the NFL doesn't make sense. Noah Brown goosing hurts. Big performances from James Cook. I know that he's mad. He wishes like this would have happened all season long, and I thought it was going to. So, yep. Keenan Allen banged up at the end of the game there. Still get you 12. Very consistent week from Ben. Breece Hall decided that he was going to be the Breece Hall of old, so it's pretty good. So, congratulations, Ben. So this is what the playoffs look like. Here we go. Excuse me. Matt and Ben get the first round byes. I play Becker in the quarterfinals, and Ryan plays Lance in the quarterfinals. So really only 2 matchups this week. The consolation bracket people are also on a bye, so 2 Ryans, Lance and I are going to battle it out this week. Winner of our game plays Matt, and the winner of Lance versus Ryan plays Ben. So it should be good. Consolation. Next week, Tiffany takes on Tim, and Power Bottom takes on Kim. So that'll be exciting as well. There weren't really any fab stuff to really super go over. Matt Stafford was, the player this week to pick up since there were so many quarterback injuries. He goes to Ryan. I don't think this is the point of the year where I don't really think anybody has any money left. Where's the standings? Oh, this is okay. Sorry. Yeah, I mean, Lance has 29, I have 14, and Becker has 5. Oh, and Ryan has 6. Everybody else is out of money. So, I mean, not really much to talk about fab-wise. So, yeah. But yeah, that just please go vote on the poll. It'll be fun end of the year episode if we get everybody to participate. I don't have anything else. The only news that I know of is that after that horrible... Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, no, I still got to go over what I think about the playoffs. Okay. Sorry, last minute, throwing it together. Not prepared whatsoever. But that's what this podcast is. Yeah, so after the horrible performance last night, the Bills have fired not only their head coach, but the GM. And, yeah, it's well-deserved. His name is escaping me at the moment. Bills coach, supposed to be defensive-minded head coach. And, Brandon Staley. Jesus Christ. I've been saying it all day, but yet I'm like, yeah. And the manager, Tom Telesco. So, 63-21 loss. I think at one point it was like 49-0. That's just unheard of. I think I was listening to ESPN earlier, and they were saying like this is the biggest blowout or whatever since sometime in the 50s, I think is what they said. But that's fucking insane. Just to quickly go over the playoff matchups. I believe Becker is going to defeat me this week. I think it's going to be pretty one-sided. You've got Dak Prescott going against the Buffalo defense. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and Dak Prescott has been on fire lately. Jamar Chase, maybe. Jake Browning's out, I think. I don't think he's going to play this week. Even if he does, I mean, it's been proven that Jamar Chase could either put up 5 points or he could put up, 15 to 20. It's a crapshoot. DeAndre Hopkins against Houston, though, I think is going to be way above this 11.8 projection. I think he's going to go off this week. Kamara, same thing. Maybe not above the 15, but at the 15 for sure. Kamara. really good player. Terrible New York Giants team. Zach Moss against Pittsburgh. That one's a little iffy. Maybe he does all right, but he's done terrible. But since Becker's playing me, and this is the playoffs, and this is my chance at destiny, I guarantee Zach Moss goes off for like 30 points or something. David Njoku seems to be Joe Flacco's like number one fucking target, and Joe Flacco's out there looking amazing. Well, I mean, not amazing, but for Joe Flacco standards, he's amazing. So looking a lot better than I thought he was going to look. So Chicago's they got a decent defense, but they're not like top of the league. So Justin Jefferson, if he plays against Cincinnati, he should be hyper targeted. James Conner should be okay against San Fran. I don't know really what to think about that. If Justin Jefferson doesn't play, he has Calvin Ridley he can put in against that stout Baltimore defense. But I think Baltimore, I don't know what to think about the Jaguars passing offense. Every time I say something, it ends up being wrong. So I don't know. But my team, Lamar Jackson should have a decent day, but it's Lamar, so he could literally have all of his receivers drop fucking every pass. It just is what it is. So I think he'll be all right. Olave, I think Kamara is going to be the better of the Saints there against the Giants. I think they're going to get up at a decent bit and not have to throw the ball. DJ Moore against Cleveland. I do like that matchup. I think that'll be pretty good. David Montgomery against Denver. Not real excited about it. Denver's defense started off the year absolutely god awful because I drafted them, and I know that. And they have completely turned it around. I think the past 6 weeks I know they're top 5 in defense. I don't know what number exactly, but they've turned it around quite a bit over there in Denver. So not excited about David Montgomery. I think if anything, this will be a Jahmyr Gibbs week more so than a Montgomery week. Ty Chandler, Alexander Madison's out, so hopefully he gets a shit ton of work and breaks off a touchdown or something, but not really thinking he's going to get that 12.9 projected points. Jake Ferguson, I just have to hope he catches a touchdown or two. Otherwise, it is what it is. I do think DK Metcalf's going to go off this week against Philly on Monday night. I do like DK this week. And then there's Zay Flowers against Jacksonville. I mean, I really only have him in there because Nico's hurt, and I have the Lamar stacked with him. So, nobody really on the bench that I'm considering playing. Pacheco's out. Nico Collins is out. I'm obviously going to pick up somebody, but they're not going to start, so it's more or less going to be for next couple of weeks or maybe to block somebody if I'm feeling so inclined. There's no way I'm starting Justin Fields, all that good stuff. So, Becker wins. Moving on to Ryan and Lance. So this is the matchup of the week that everybody's going to be looking at because it's going to come down to the wire, I think. Matt Stafford versus Washington. Washington has been the worst defense by far. Maybe not this year, but as of late. So Stafford looks like a smash play. I know he's being hotly picked up everywhere. I really like the pickup from Ryan. I think he kind of gets the over on those projected points there at 19.7. CeeDee Lamb. Again, I believe that Dak will have a pretty damn good game, and Dak seems to pass a lot to CeeDee Lamb. So Lamb's good. Puka Nacua with the Matt Stafford stack I really like as well. You have to hope that it's not all Cup and that maybe Puka breaks off a touchdown, but he'll get it, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 points at least. I think that's his floor this week against Washington. So really like that matchup. Not too stoked about Tony Pollard against Buffalo, but if we know anything, it's that once I've traded him away, Tony Pollard has looked like the player that I fucking drafted him to be. So maybe that 14-point projection is correct. Bijan against Carolina, smash. Carolina's terrible. Travis Kelce against New England. I don't really remember how New England is against tight ends, but I know that Bill Belichick takes away your best option on defense, and with all of the wide receivers not being able to catch the ball, other than Rashee Rice, obviously, and Pacheco being out, I think that they try to shut down Kelce, and I think maybe they succeed. So, not expecting a whole lot out of Kelce. Reed's been really good as of late, so I don't really know what to think about that. I don't expect him to have a boom 20-point week, but then again, I don't expect him to bust either. So it's kind of just one of those wait and see things for me. I don't really have any insight on it. Rashee Rice should be getting way more targets than he is every single fucking week. I don't understand why Andy Reid doesn't just make Patrick Mahomes hyper target Kelce and Rice, because those are the only decent passing options they have on that fucking team. Stop throwing the ball to fucking MVS and Kadarius Toney, who can't even line up on the right side of the fucking scrimmage line. I digress. Kansas City defense against New England's offense is always a good bet. I don't know. Nobody on the bench that you're going to start. Even if CJ Stroud comes back, you don't start him this week over Matt Stafford. At least I wouldn't. On the Lance side, Josh Allen versus Dallas. So, Dallas's defense has been back to playing really well. I think this is a little bit harder of a matchup. I think Josh Allen's good enough to get his, but I don't know if he's going to get that 26 points that he's projected for. I would bet the under on that. Not much else to say on that one. Garrett Wilson against Miami. They are going to have to throw the ball if they want to win the game, and to be able to throw the ball in the New York Jets team, you have to throw it to Garrett Wilson because there's nobody else. So, Amari Cooper. So, with Flacco being in there, Amari Cooper's outlook has looked a lot better. So, good start there for Cooper. Gibbs against Denver. See, I said earlier that I think this is more of a Jahmyr Gibbs week than David Montgomery week. So, I think Gibbs is going to be a good smash play there. On the other side, Javonte Williams against Detroit. Another one of those kind of wash things in my mind. He could do it or he could not do it. It's just, I don't really know what to think there. Hawkinson versus Cincinnati Hawkinson had a down week last week. Looking for him to bounce back. I know that the quarterback situation's kind of murky there, so I don't know how that projects as far as, Justin Jefferson getting all the targets, or is it TJ Hawkinson getting all the targets? I'm going to lean Jefferson, but could easily be Hawkinson. So, Rachaad White, I doubted him all fucking year, and he turns around and puts up 20 points, so I'm assuming he's going to do it against Green Bay. Antonio Gibson. I did not know that Lance had Antonio Gibson. I went to pick him up looking for him, and he wasn't there. So Brian Robinson is out for sure this week. Got announced today, so that's a good start. He should get all of the running work, and I know that the Washington offense is probably going to try to slow it down a little bit because they know they have zero hope and zero prayer of stopping the Rams offense. T. Higgins is a possible start for him, but at the same time, T. Higgins has been very disappointing this year. I think Chris Godwin bounced back last week, if I remember correctly, but I understand what you're doing, Lance, and I'm all for it. With the 3 or the 4 running back plays this week, I think I know what Lance is doing. Lance is trying to maximize the points and play it safe without like risking a 0-point week from anybody, trying to keep it consistent. I like it, but I don't think it's going to be enough this week. I think Ryan has the matchups on his side for sure, and I think Ryan pulls this one out. It's still going to be close. I will be glued to this matchup more so than mine. I think mine's a foregone conclusion, while this one's actually going to be a very good game. So I think Ryan takes this one by a slight margin. So everybody else is on a bye, so that is all I've got for this episode. Thank you guys for listening. I know it's real short. I know you guys are probably sick of me rambling by myself. Again, I don't know if I'll be doing another episode for next week or anything like that, but definitely we'll have one for the end of the year, announcing the winner. Would like to have the winner come on the show, but I don't know if I could sit in a room with them while I did not win myself that soon after it's over, just out of pure saltiness. But yeah, that's all I got. Be sure to go check out that award poll and vote. You can only vote once, and you cannot go back once you have voted. So take your time, read the questions thoroughly, and think about it before just hitting somebody. I think it'll be a good, funny, like little league activity for us to all do together and talk about the, why, and we can actually see, like, not who voted for, but the percentages of the people who, got the votes. So it'll be interesting to go over that. So anyways, I appreciate you guys listening, and I will see you later.